Chaos theory. The butterfly effect. The comment chain of events: a woman makes a malicious comment on a social media post. The owner of the post becomes depressed and misses work. The company loses an important presentation to investors. The investors make a deal with a competing company. The competitor expands and hires more employees. One of the new hires cancels a move to another state. The apartment he was going to rent stays empty for months. The property owner goes into debt and sells the apartment. The buyer is a businessman who gives up on opening a business in another city. A family that would have been hired by that business loses the opportunity. The father, desperate, commits suicide. It all started with a malicious comment on the internet. The comment: Sao Paulo, Brazil, 22:43, Monday. Julia, 32 years old, is lying in bed scrolling through Instagram. She sees a photo of an old college classmate, Amanda. The photo shows Amanda radiant, celebrating a promotion at work, finally a project manager. Gratitude for this achievement. Julia feels a pang of envy. Her own career is stagnant. She types quickly, without thinking. Funny how some people climb the ladder by stepping on others. Congrats on the achievement. She hits send, deletes the app, sleeps. She does not imagine what she has just begun. The depression: Sao Paulo, Brazil. 07:15. Tuesday. Amanda wakes up and checks her phone. Sees Julia's comment. Her heart sinks. She rereads it 5 times. Stepping on others. She never did that. She worked hard for years. The comment has 47 likes. People agreeing. Others commenting. True. I know people like that. Amanda feels shame, anger, sadness. She deletes the post, but the damage is done. During the entire day, she cannot concentrate. Cries in the office bathroom. At night, she does not sleep. On Wednesday, she calls work. I will not be able to come in today. The last presentation: Sao Paulo, Brazil, 14 o'clock, Wednesday. The company where Amanda works, Tech Solutions, has a crucial presentation for investors from Europe. Amanda was responsible for presenting the main project, an innovative management software, but she is not there. Her improvised substitute, Rodrigo, does not know the technical details. The presentation is disastrous. The investors, cold and skeptical, thank them politely. On their way out, they are already calling the competing company. Innovatech, let's talk with you tomorrow. The new business: Sao Paulo, Brazil, 10 o'clock, Thursday. Innovatech receives the European investors. The presentation is perfect. The investors are impressed. They sign a contract for 10 million reais in investment. Innovatech will expand. Operations: open a new office, hire 30 people. Among the new hires is Marcelo, 28 years old, software engineer. He was about to move to Florianopolis to work for another company, but Innovatech offers a better salary. He cancels everything. Stays in Sao Paulo, the empty apartment, Florianopolis, Brazil, 15 o'clock, Thursday. Dona Celia, 64 years old, owner of an apartment in Florianopolis, receives Marcello's call. Sorry, I will not rent anymore. I got a job in Sao Paulo. Celia is devastated. She was counting on the rent to pay her bills. The apartment remains empty for 3 months, without income. Her debts grew, maxed out credit card. Condo fees overdue. Desperate, she decides to sell the property urgently. Below market price, the impulsive purchase: Florianopolis, Brazil, 11 o'clock, Monday. 3 months later, Roberto, a 45-year-old businessman, sees the apartment listing. Excellent price. He buys it as an investment. But that money was set aside for another project, opening a branch of his restaurant in Joinville. Without sufficient capital now, Roberto postpones the plan indefinitely. In Joinville, an entire family, father, mother, and two children, who would have been hired to work at the restaurant, loses the opportunity without even knowing it existed. The Lost Opportunity, Joinville, Brazil, 19 o'clock, Tuesday. Jose, 41 years old, father of a family, has been unemployed for 8 months. He heard through a friend that a new restaurant would open and was hiring. It was his hope. He waited. Nothing happened. The restaurant never opened. The bills pile up. Electricity cut off. Water cut off. Imminent eviction. His wife, Mariana, works as a house cleaner, but it is not enough. Jose feels he has failed as a father, as a provider. The weight is unbearable. The desperation, Joinville, Brazil, 4:30 in the morning, Thursday. Jose has not been able to sleep for days. He looks at his wife and children sleeping. He thinks about all the closed doors, all the lost opportunities. He feels he is a burden, that the family would be better off without him. The life insurance would pay the debts. He writes a letter, leaves the house silently, goes to the bridge. The sun has not yet risen. He climbs onto the parapet, thinks for the last time, and jumps. The funeral, Joinville, Brazil.16:00. Jose's funeral is taking place. Mariana is shattered. The children, 9 and 12 years old, do not understand why their father is gone. Friends and family tried to console. No one fully understands what led Jose to that decision. The pieces of the puzzle are scattered across different cities, across disconnected events, a malicious comment, a lost presentation, a cancelled contract, a sold apartment, a restaurant that never opened, and now, a dead man. The Discovery, Sao Paulo, Brazil, 23 o'clock, 2 months later. Amanda, who finally recovered from depression and returned to work, is browsing Facebook. She sees a post shared by a distant acquaintance, a crowdfunding campaign to help the family of Jose from Joinville, who lost their father to suicide. Amanda reads the story, feels empathy, donates 50 reais. She will never know that there is an invisible line connecting that man's death to the malicious comment she received months ago. No one will ever know. Butterfly effect, a malicious comment in Sao Paulo. A woman becomes depressed. A crucial presentation is lost. Investors choose a competing company. An employee cancels a move. An apartment sits empty. An owner sells out of desperation. A businessman cancels a restaurant opening. A family loses a job opportunity. A desperate father takes his own life. An invisible line. Disconnected events. Lives destroyed. All because of 47 characters typed in anger. This is chaos. This is the butterfly effect.